I simply cannot find her.
Maria?
She's missing from the Abbey again. Perhaps we should have put a cowbell around her neck.
It's 1964 in the Austrian Alps. Cameras roll on a tender kiss between Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, until a ridiculous pep fatalité from faulty lights erupts like a cosmic joke. Laughter shatters the set, ruining takes and costing thousands. The studio buries the chaos, a secret kept for decades until Andrews reveals it on TV. What happened in that gazebo? And why did Plummer, who despised the film, stay silent? This is the sound of music's raw truth. Joy forged in near disaster, healing a war-torn world through song and struggle. The year is 1956. Europe still licks its wounds from the inferno of World War II. Cities lie in craters, families fractured like shattered glass. In West Germany, the air tastes of ash and uncertainty, where the ghosts of the Third Reich linger in every shadow. People shuffle through rationed days, their spirits hollowed by loss. The sting of brothers lost in foxholes, mothers weeping over empty cribs, children who forgot how to laugh. Into this gray dawn steps Wolfgang Liebeneiner, a German producer with a vision as fragile as a first snowflake. He adapts Maria von Trapp's memoir, The Story of the Trapp Family Singers, into two humble films, Die Trapp Family and its sequel. No grand sets, no Hollywood gloss, just earnest black and white frames capturing a family's defiance through melody. These aren't blockbusters born of bombast. They're whispers of warmth in a frozen world. Picture it. Audiences in dimly lit theaters, coats threadbare against the chill, leaning forward as the screen flickers to life. A governess with fire in her veins teaches children to sing amid the Anschluss's creeping dread. Folk tunes rise like prayers, defying the jackboots marching outside. In post-war Germany, where hope feels like a luxury tax, this tale strikes like sunlight piercing storm clouds. Families clutch hands, tears tracing silent paths down weathered cheeks, remembering what it means to choose love when hatred screams loudest. The films explode at the box office, the biggest hits West Germany had ever seen. Word spreads like contraband joy, from Berlin's bombed-out beer gardens to Vienna's shadowed cafes, then rippling across the continent. Even in South America's sun-baked plazas, where tango once drowned sorrows, locals hum Edelweiss with accents thick as mountain mist, seeing in the Von Trapps their own battles against invisible chains. But oh, the heartbreak when those reels cross the Atlantic. Hollywood, that glittering beast of ambition, scoffs. Executives in smoke-filled boardrooms, men with cufflinks heavier than their consciences, dismiss it as corny drivel, a high school pageant with leader. Too sentimental for their jaded palates, too foreign with its unpolished Alps and unapologetic heart. The rejection stings like salt in a fresh wound. Maria's story, born from the ashes of escape, reduced to a quaint curiosity. No bids come, no contracts signed. The dream of American wings for this European phoenix flickers, nearly snuffed out. Enter Vincent J. Donahue, a director whose soul still hums with the Tony Award he'd just claimed for his stage wizardry. Sent by Paramount to scour for gold amid the dross, he stumbles upon those German prints. At first, the same sneer curls his lip. Clumsy angles, dated dialogue, a charm that feels worlds away from Broadway's razzle-dazzle. But then, pause, rewind. In the quiet glow of a screening room, something stirs. Beneath the budgetary bones, he glimpses the marrow. A mother's fierce love clashing with a father's armored grief. Children blooming like Edelweiss through cracked stone. A family's harmony weaving a shield against the storm. It's not perfection. It's pulse. It's the raw ache of survival wrapped in song. Donahue's voice, steady as a conductor's baton, drops the bombshell. This can't be a film. It demands the stage, a Broadway musical crafted for Mary Martin. The room falls silent, then erupts in the electric hum of possibility. Martin's name alone ignites visions. Her voice, a clarion call that could shatter doubts and mend divides. That single spark? Rewind further to the early 1950s. Maria von Trapp isn't the icon we envision, poised in dirndls, twirling through meadows. She's a woman adrift in the wake of war's tempests, her heart a patchwork of joy and jagged loss. Widowed young? No, remarried to a captain whose stern gaze hid a tenderness forged in naval gales. But bills mount like storm clouds. 10 children clamor for shoes and school books. No agents shield her. No lawyers parse the fine print. She's just a mother, voice trembling as she signs away her life's tapestry for a paltry $9,000 to those German filmmakers. In 1950s dollars, it's a lifeline, barely enough for a year's security. Today, a whisper of $104,000, laughable against the fortunes to come. But the ink dries, and with it, chains she never saw. Film rights surrendered, her truth commodified for a pittance. The regret? It creeps in like fog over Salzburg's lakes. When Hollywood comes knocking, waving checks for her book's title alone, hoping to spin a fictionalized yarn without the messy authenticity, Maria's spine straightens. Her eyes, fierce as the mountains she fled, flash with the fire of one who stared down Gestapo shadows. "No," she declares, voice steady despite the quiver in her soul. "If my family's pain and perseverance are to be shared, let it be whole. Let it be true." It's a stand born of love's unyielding grip, the love that carried her over borders on foot. Lullabies, her only map. But oh, the loneliness of that choice, nights spent poring over letters from strangers, her children's futures hanging by threads she can't control. By 1959, Mary Martin and husband Richard Halliday pursued the musical, but Maria was unreachable. Missionary work in Papua New Guinea with Father Wasner. She ignored their letters, focused on service. On returning to San Francisco, Halliday greeted her with Annie Get Your Gun tickets. Martin's performance moved her deeply. Despite sold German rights, Maria gave permission. Try your best. That fragile permission? Producers circled the project like hawks over fresh snow, envisioning a gentle fusion. The Von Trapps' authentic yodels laced with a sprinkle of Broadway sparkle. Folk roots cradling new buds. Safe, nostalgic, crowd-pleasing. They approach Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, titans whose scores had redefined the American stage. With a modest ask, pen a tune or two to bridge the gaps. The duo, Rodgers with his pianist's precision, Hammerstein his poet's depth, exchange glances heavy with the weight of legacies. Hammerstein, eyes shadowed by the cancer that would soon claim him, sees not filler, but a canvas. "No," they chorus, voices harmonious as their hits. "We compose the whole, or we walk." No half measures for men who'd woven Oklahoma. Thunder and carousels ache. Clashing eras, anathema. Their music must breathe the story's soul, unadulterated. Producers paused for flower drum song, then Rodgers and Hammerstein revolutionized the musical with all original songs. Hits like My Favorite Things, Do Re Mi, Climb Every Mountain, and Edelweiss poured out. It opened November 16, 1959, at the Lunt-Fontanne with Mary Martin as Maria. Costing $400,000, it earned $232 million in advance sales. Martin missed just one of 1,443 shows. It ran until June 1963. Fox bought film rights for $1.25 million amid Cleopatra's financial disaster. Yet a clause lurks, sly as a fox in the henhouse, surpassed $12.5 million and Rogers Hammerstein claimed 10% of the spoils. Howard Lindsay, co-writer, chuckles over cigars, doubting the mark. His laughter? A prelude to humility's sting. In the early 1960s, Julie Andrews dominated Broadway as Eliza in My Fair Lady, her voice transforming the role nightly. But Hollywood snubbed her for the film, calling her unready for screen and casting Audrey Hepburn, whose singing was dubbed. Devastated, Andrews questioned her future. Then Robert Wise saw rough Mary Poppins footage and signed her for Maria at a flat $225,000. 228 Me Today, no royalties. Poppins soared. She won an Oscar and thanked Jack Warner slyly for the rejection. The Sound of Music made her iconic, but she earned nothing beyond her fee, despite its massive success. The Captain, Georg von Trapp, paragon of patriarchal poise, his heart a fortress cracking under love's siege, demands a leading man of gravitas. Wise casts wide, Sean Connery, Bond's brooding blaze, too explosive for domestic thaw. Richard Burton, Tempest in Tweed, entangled in Taylor's orbit. Bing Crosby, crooner king, adrift in whimsy. Rejections pile like unclaimed luggage. Plummer yields, but not without barbs. Infuse him with fire, he demands, voice edged with actor's pride. Writers scramble, dialogue sharpened to stiletto wit, backstory etched with war's scars, the loss of a wife to illness, children adrift in echoing halls. And a song? Imperative, for the captain's soul-bearing. Rogers and Hammerstein oblige. Edelweiss, no folk relic but a bespoke bloom. Simple strains swelling to anthem. A father's faltering plea for homeland's grace. Plummer sings it raw in rehearsals, voice cracking on, "Bless my homeland," channeling the exile's ache that mirrors his own disdain for the fluff. Plummer hated Salzburg's beauty, calling it a prison of prettiness. He isolated himself, drinking heavily and gaining weight from rich food. During the Nazi concert scene, he was drunk, but delivered an iconic performance, dignified yet thawing with emotion. He earned a flat fee, no royalties from the $286 million gross, and resented it for years before appreciating the film's impact. Casting the Von Trapp kids was intense. Mia Farrow auditioned thrice for Liesl, but lost to Charmian Carr. Kurt Russell, Patty Duke, and Terry Garr tried for Friedrich. Nicholas Hammond won it and later became TV's first Spider-Man. The full cast, Angela Cartwright, Debbie Turner, Kim Carath, Heather Menzies, bonded deeply during auditions and rehearsals. Decades later, they remain family, reuniting often and staying close with Andrews and Plummer. 39's Gone with the Wind, Scarlett's steel-spined saga, had reigned supreme. A colossus, weathering depressions, world wars, Technicolor's dawn, unassailable, until 1965's gentle giant stirs. The Sound of Music premieres March 2nd, theaters swelling with families, fathers in suits starched with optimism, mothers dabbing eyes at the first chord. No CGI spectacle, just stories sinew, songs that burrow like lullabies. By November '66, the impossible. $286 million claimed. 283 million souls buy in. 1 in 12 humans then, from Manhattan matinees to Mongolian steppes. Non-speakers mouth do-re-mi phonetically. Blackout villages echo, climb every mountain by firelight. No algorithms propel. Just Kobe, families returning tenfold. Children dragging parents, grandparents humming through dentures. Its phenomenon, palliative. A global group hug amid Cold War chills, civil rights royal. That kiss, silhouetted serenity, lips brushing in moon-kissed surrender, cinema's gold standard for romance. But Genesis? A comedy of errors, cruel in its caprice. Carbon arcs, those hulking harbingers of light, roar to life. Intended as lunar glow, delivering instead digestive discord. Plummer inclines, breath warm on Andrews's cheek. Pfft, a wet, windy vulgarity. Bass as a barnyard revolt. Giggles ignite. Julie's trill cascades into Plummer's guffaw. Crew collapsing in heaps. I love you, he intones, solemn as oath. Pfft, dissolving into snorts. 20 takes, each a farce. Hours evaporate in mirth's merciless maw. Wise, brow furrowed with frustration's fire, halts the folly. Pivot, silhouettes against gazebos gleam, faces veiled in shadow's grace. Laughter hides, intimacy amplifies, serendipity's sly gift. The result? More poignant than planned, a dream woven from disaster's thread. Fox seals lips with NDAs ironclad, leaks branded treason. Fans, enchanted, never suspect the seams. Andrew's TV unburdening, years on, cathartic cackle. Nose-to-nose passion, assaulted by nether raspberries. Relief washes her features. Secrets shared lighten loads. Plummer, co-conspirator in silence, nods from afar, his disdain tempered by the memory's warmth. In vulnerability's forge, bonds form. Two stars, scarred by the same absurd arrow, finding fraternity in the fall. Poised patriarch on celluloid, Plummer off, a cauldron of contempt. Goo from stem to stern, he rails in diaries, the film's felicity, a frippery to his thespian throne. Salzburg's splendor? Gilded gulag, where Baroque facades mock his mounting misery. Isolation breeds indulgence. Bottles emptied in shadowed taverns, strudel savored with spiteful forkfuls. Weight whispers of weakness, professionalism persists. A performer's penance. The Edelweiss Festival, captain's choked sob, anthem ascending amid fascist glare, births from blackout bravery. Plummer, sloshed on spirit's solace, sways through the spotlight. Memoir, In Spite of Myself, 2008, bears the bone. Arrogant pup, pickled to play the patsy. No method in the madness, just survival's slur, yet the take transcends. Tears genuine, voice velvet cracked, moving millions to mirrors of their own muted pains. Exiles, resistors, fathers failing yet fighting. Irony's embrace, disdain distills depth. Alchemy of actor's art. Salzburg's splendor hid savagery. The boat capsize, children's gleeful plunge into Cap Von Trapp's lake, filmed under summer's smile, but peril lurks beneath. Kim Carruth, Gretel's wide-eyed wonder at 5, confesses pre-roll. I can't swim. Andrews, maternal instinct aflame, vows guardianship. Fall forward. Cradle the tot. Catastrophe cascades. Boat lists. Julie tumbles astern, arms flailing futile. Kim vanishes under ripples, bubbles her silent scream, twice submerged, lungs burning with brine's bite. Panic's vice grips the shore. A co-star dives, hauling her gasping to air. Vomiting racks her tiny frame. Lake's chill seeding phobia that festers years. Pools evaded. Waves a whisper of what-ifs. Andrews, pale as parchment, cradles her post-rescue, tears mingling with apologies. My girl, forgive this folly. The fright lingers, a scar on the sequence's sparkle, reminder that joy's choreography courts chaos. Openings opus. Julie aloft in emerald expanse. Arms akimbo like albatross wings, camera cartwheeling in euphoric arc. Epitomizes escape's ecstasy. Filming? Torments tango, helicopter hums low, 20 feet from terra firma, blades birthing gales that buffet like banshees. Take one. Downdraft slams Julie prone, grass-grinding grit into gown. Rise, reset, radiate, smile through the sting. 6, 7 slams. Body bruised, breath stolen, dirt a second skin. Nearly airborne to Italy, she jests later. Laughter a loser's laurel. But in the moment, locations lure. Undulating verdancy, spires piercing cerulean. Beguiles. But 1964's deluge devours. Budget, $8.2 million or mid-60s monument. Wise plot, 6 weeks. Zeus weeps 11. Torrents transform trails to quagmires. 250 souls sodden in salopettes. Morale muddied as meadows. Pre-Wise, William Wyler, Ben-Hur's biblical barnstormer, courts the crown. 1963, he quits Fox's board, ethics noble nod. But script sentiment sours his palate. Songs jar like off-key oboes. Broadway viewing. Confusion's cloud. Lyrics lovely, but lodged awkwardly in narrative's neck. Hearing's haze compounds. Melodies muddle in his waning ears. Directing's delight, dimming to duty. Spouse senses the drift. It's not your heart's harmony, Bill. Escape hatches via the collector. Fowls's psychological snare. Darkness his delight. Plea to Xanax. Schedules clash. Facade firm. Truth, as credits roll on this cinematic colossus. 286 million echo still reverberating. Oscars gleaming like mountain peaks. Pause. Feel the swell? That's not nostalgia's narcotic. It's the Von Trapp's verdict. Music as mutiny, love as liberation. Maria, long gone to greener hills, watches from eternity. Her $9,000 gamble gifting generations solace. Andrews, voice velveted by time, reflects, "We laughed through the lunacy, proof joy defies the dark." Plummer, softened by septuagenarian wisdom, toasts the mucus that minted myths. The children, silver-threaded, reunite under Salzburg's gaze, toasting bonds baptismal in boat and ballad. And us, heirs to this heritage, when tempests howl, hum, climb every mountain. Defy the deluge, for in every forbidden fart and fallen star lies the heart's unscripted song. Thanks for journeying these hills with me, friends. If this stirred your soul, tears, chuckles, chills, hit subscribe. Let's unearth more whispers from the past. What's your Sound of Music memory? Share below. Until next, keep climbing.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.